How do you talk about marriage and divorce in English, clearly and professionally? In this beginner legal English class, you will learn key family law like spouse, wedding, and separation. We'll also practice using the past simple to describe important legal events. This is perfect for lawyers, law students, and legal staff working in personal and family law. We know learning legal English as a beginner can be very difficult. That's why we built a step by step course in school. Join our school group to build your legal English skills with lessons, live webinars, and a forum so you can finally speak legal English with confidence. In today's class, we focus on the language of family law, especially the legal terms that describe marriage and divorce. You will learn that spouse is the legal term for a husband or wife. A wedding is not only a celebration, but also a formal legal event. Separation describes where spouses live apart but are not yet divorced. And you will also learn about these events in the past using the past simple tense, which helps lawyers and clients explain when things happened. By the end, you will be able to tell clear and professional stories about marriage and divorce using legal English. Let me tell you a story about Anna and Carlos to introduce today's topic. Anna and Carlos were married 5 years ago. Anna is Carlos's spouse. That means they are husband and wife. Their wedding was beautiful, and it was also an important legal event that made their marriage official. 3 years later, Anna and Carlos decided to live separately. This is called a separation in legal terms. That means they no longer live together, but are not yet divorced. This story helps us understand the key words and legal processes behind marriage and separation. As we continue, we will learn how to talk about these important family law topics clearly and professionally. First, the word spouse. This is a formal legal term used to describe a husband or wife, the person you are legally married to. In our story, Anna is Carlos's spouse. This means Anna and Carlos have a legal marriage recognized by law. Using the word spouse is very common in legal documents and conversations about marriage and family law. It helps us to be clear and professional. Next word is wedding. A wedding is the formal event where two people become legally married. It can be a big celebration or a small legal procedure, but the key is this is the start of marriage. In some countries, weddings happen in churches or other venues, while in others, they happen in a courthouses or a notary's office. For example, Anna and Carlos had their wedding 5 years ago. That day, they became legally husband and wife. Separation. Separation is a legal term describing when a married couple decides to live apart, but has not officially ended the marriage through divorce. Separation often happens before divorce and can involve legal agreements about property, children, and support. In our story, Anna and Carlos chose separation 3 years after the wedding. They lived separately, but remained married. Divorce is a very important legal word. It means the official and legal ending of a marriage. after the divorce, the spouses are no longer legally married and can make new legal decisions independently. For example, after separating, Anna and Carlos decided to file for divorce to legally end their marriage. Every legal marriage is recorded on a document called a marriage certificate. This certificate is proof that a marriage exists. It's an official paper issued by the government. Anna and Carlos have a marriage certificate. It is the legal proof of their wedding and marriage. Finally, a more advanced legal term, annulment. An annulment is different from divorce. It means a court decides the marriage was never legally valid. It is canceled as if it never happened. This can happen for specific legal reasons. For example, sometimes couples ask the court for an annulment instead of a divorce. So there are situations where the person is still married and they can't marry again. That's when they would annul the second marriage. Let's begin with a vocabulary challenge. What do you call the person you are legally married to? Picture this. Anna and Carlos are filling out a visa application. The form asks for Carlos's marital status. He writes married, and then it says name of your blank. He writes Anna. The correct word is spouse. It's a formal word for husband or wife used in law, official forms, and contracts. What do we call the event when two people legally become married? Imagine this. Anna is wearing a dress. Carlos is wearing a suit. He is standing beside her. A judge speaks. There are rings, a few guests, and after a short ceremony, they are married. It is not just a party, it's legal. What do we call that event? That event is called a wedding. The wedding is the moment when the legal relationship begins. Next one. What word describes when a couple lives apart but hasn't ended the marriage yet? Think of Anna and Carlos again. After some problems, they decide not to live together. Carlos moves to a new apartment, but they are still legally married. No court has ended the marriage yet. What is this called? This is called separation. It's often the first step before divorce and can include legal agreements too. Next up, what's the legal term for ending a marriage completely? Imagine this. After living apart for a year, Anna and Carlos agree they want to end the marriage. They file papers in court, attend a hearing, and receive official approval. What is the correct legal term? Divorce. It means their legal relationship has ended, and they are free to make new decisions independently. Let's do another one. What do we call the official paper that proves two people are married? Think of Anna. She goes to a government office and asks for a copy of the paper from the day she and Carlos got married. She needs it to update her legal name and register for health insurance. What is that called? That paper is the marriage certificate. It's legal proof that the marriage exists, and it's required in many formal situations. Last one. What's the legal word for a court decision that says a marriage never legally existed? Imagine Anna discovers Carlos was already married when they had their wedding, something she didn't know. She asked the court not to end the marriage, but to cancel it completely, like it never happened. That's called an annulment. It means the marriage was never legally valid from the start, a different legal process than divorce. Let's learn about the past simple tense, one of the most important ways to talk about events that happened in the past and are now finished. For example, when we say Anna married Carlos 5 years ago, the word married is in the past simple. It tells us the action happened in the past and is complete. With regular verbs, we usually add ed to the base form, like married, walked, and talked. But be careful. Some verbs are irregular and don't follow this rule. For example, was, had, and went are irregular. In family law, we use the past simple tense a lot to talk about events like weddings, separations, and divorces because these all happen at specific times in the past. We'll practice more soon, but first, get comfortable with this idea. Past simple means finished actions in the past. Let me tell you the story of Anna and Carlos and listen for the actions that they took in the past. Anna and Carlos began their life together in 2018. That's the year they got legally married. So they married in 2018. After their wedding, they started their new life in the city. They lived there happily for a while. But then in 2021, things changed. Anna and Carlos decided they could not live together anymore. So they separated and lived apart. To make everything clear and legal, they signed a separation agreement that explained how they would manage their lives while apart. The following year, they went to court and the judge granted their divorce. That means the court officially accepted their decision to end the marriage. Finally, Anna and Carlos divorced. They ended their marriage legally and officially. This story not only helps us remember the legal steps of marriage ending, but also shows how to use these important past tense verbs when talking about real events. Let's keep learning how to change verbs from the present to the past using stories about Anna and Carlos. We will begin with regular verbs. These are easy. Just add ed. Mary becomes married. Anna and Carlos married in 2018. It was a simple wedding at the courthouse. Live becomes lived. After the wedding, they lived in the city together for 3 years. Talk becomes talked. At first, they talked every day about their plans and future. Start becomes started. Then they started having problems, maybe about money or time. Now, let's look at some irregular verbs. These do not follow the ed rule. Make becomes made. They made a separation agreement with the help of a lawyer. Go becomes went. Carlos went to stay with his parents after the separation. Have becomes had. They had many discussions about what to do next. Give becomes gave. Finally, Anna gave Carlos the signed divorce papers. So to review, regular verbs add ed like talked, lived, started. Irregular verbs learn the past form like gave, went, made. And the best way to learn them? Tell stories, use them in context, just like Anna and Carlos's story. Now, let's work on some legal phrases. File for divorce. This means to officially start the legal process to end a marriage. You go to court and give legal papers to request the divorce. In our story, Anna filed for divorce in 2023. She gave the documents to the court and asked to end the marriage legally. This is a very useful phrase for anyone working in legal or administrative support. Legal separation. This means the couple does not live together anymore, but they are still legally married. Sometimes people choose separation first, before deciding to divorce. In our story, Carlos and Anna chose legal separation. They lived apart and signed an agreement about their money and responsibilities, but they were still married. This step is important in family law and often involves legal paperwork. Irreconcilable. This phrase is often used in court documents. It means the two people have problems in their relationship that cannot be solved. They tried, but they cannot live together anymore. In many countries, this is a common reason listed on divorce forms. It's a polite way to say the couple cannot continue the marriage. Irreconcilable. Finally, let's look at the phrase custody agreement. When parents separate or divorce, they need to decide who will take care of the children, where the kids will live, who will make decisions, and when each parent will see them. A custody agreement is the legal paper that explains all of this. For example, Anna and Carlos signed a custody agreement for their two children. It helped keep things clear and fair after their separation. Let's review everything we learned today through the story of Anna and Carlos. Anna and Carlos got married in 2018. Their wedding was small and simple, but legally it was official. After the wedding, they lived together in San Jose for a few years. They were husband and wife, or in legal terms, they were each other's spouse. In 2022, the relationship changed. They decided to separate. Not divorce yet, but they no longer live together. This is called a legal separation. Because they have two children, they needed to decide how to share time and responsibilities. So they signed a custody agreement, a legal paper explaining who takes care of the kids and when. In 2023, Anna filed for divorce. She gave the legal papers to the court and asked to officially end the marriage. The court granted the divorce, and the reason listed was irreconcilable differences. That means they had problems that could not be fixed. This story helps us see how legal vocabulary and grammar connect in real life. We practice the past simple to talk about events like marriage, separation, and divorce, and used real legal phrases like file for divorce and custody agreement. Great work following along. Before we finish, let's quickly review everything we covered in today's class. First, we learned important legal vocabulary, words like spouse, wedding, separation, and divorce, all essential when talking about family law. Next, we explored real legal phrases used in court or legal documents. You now understand what it means to file for divorce, what a custody agreement is, and what legal separation really means. We also practiced using the past simple tense, verbs like married, lived, separated, signed, and divorced to describe events that happened in the past. And finally, we use stories and examples to help you explain a family law situation using correct grammar and simple professional legal English. Great work today. You're building the foundation to speak about legal life events clearly, correctly, and confidently. We know learning legal English as a beginner is difficult, so join our school group for easy lessons, live webinars, and a supportive forum, and start speaking legal English confidently. Link is in the description.